Hello, everyone. So how was the first week back to school? Yeah, I know. It's been 5 days now back to school? We get a thumbs down. Well, I have some good news and some bad news. Tomorrow, the good news is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The third Monday of every January is a time when we remember Martin Luther King Jr., who was a civil rights activist in the United States and a real human rights leader who believed in equality for all people. And maybe you've heard one of his lines from a sermon. He was Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., and it's, "I have a dream. I dream of a world where the color of my children's skin doesn't determine their worth." And so I'm wearing a t-shirt that has Martin Luther King Jr. on it. So that's the good news. This is Martin Luther King Jr. The bad news is that in the United States, it's a holiday, and so kids don't have to go to school there, but you do here. I think it should be a holiday in Canada, but, you know, maybe we'll work on that one too. And so with it being Martin Luther King Jr. Sunday, the day before Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I wanted to share a children's story by another civil rights leader, and another minister by coincidence. I've got a book called God's Dream, which is written by Reverend Desmond Tutu, who is Bishop Desmond Tutu. He was a bishop in South Africa in a time called apartheid, and he believed in equality of people and so fought very hard for that there and used his religious tradition to bring about human rights for everybody. And we're doing a sermon series for 6 weeks called God's Dream, and this book was the inspiration for that sermon series. So if you as adults remember hearing about God's Dream a little bit last week, you're going to hear about it through a children's story this week. So this is God's Dream by Reverend Desmond Tutu and Douglas Carlton Adams. "Dear child of God," it says, "what do you dream about in your loveliest of dreams?" Do any of you remember your dreams from last night? Do you dream about flying high or rainbows reaching across the sky? Do you dream about being free to do what your heart desires or about being treated like a full person no matter how young you might be? Do you know what God dreams about? What do you think God dreams about? If you close your eyes and look with your heart, I am sure, dear child, that you will find out. God dreams about people sharing. See the photo of people sharing? There's a little kitty cat. We even share with cats sometimes too. God dreams about people caring. There's some people petting the kitty cat. It's a good way of showing care, is giving love to God's creation. God dreams that we reach out and hold one another's hands and play one another's games and laugh with one another's hearts. But God does not force us to be friends or to love one another. Dear child of God, it does happen that we get angry and we hurt one another. Soon we start to feel sad and so very alone. I bet if any of you have siblings, you've probably gotten angry a time or two, right? Sometimes we cry and God cries with us. But when we say we're sorry and forgive one another and we wipe away our tears and God's tears too. Each of us carries a piece of God's heart with us. And when we love one another, all the pieces of God's heart are made whole. God dreams that every one of us will see that we are all brothers and sisters, even you and even me, even if we have different mummies and daddies or live in different faraway lands. Even if we speak different languages or have different ways of talking to God, even if we have different eyes, different colors, skin, even if you're taller than I am, or smaller, even if your nose is little and mine is large, dear child of God, do you know what it is to make God's dream come true? It's quite easy. As easy as sharing, loving, caring, as easy as holding, playing, laughing, as easy as knowing that we are family because we are all God's children. Will you help God's dream come true? let me tell you a secret. God smiles like a rainbow when you do. Isn't that a cute book? And it's an important message because it reminds us that we are all God's children and we're all loved no matter our background or beliefs. So we're going to be learning a little bit about God's dream here over the next few weeks, and I'm going to invite you folks, if you'd like, you can go with Tama and Mary to our children's program, or as always, you're welcome to stay here with us in the congregation too. And we'll see you all a little later. Sound good? Rock on.